Hello everybody. I wanted to drop this quick video in here in response to Florence's really good question about what do we do when someone who we encounter really does something that sets us off, really throws us off kilter. How do you handle that? Florence, you were talking about an experience where a longtime client yelled at you. Of course that's going to be upsetting. Of course it is. And so how do we prevent other people's stuff from getting in the way of our desire to maintain a clear focus and maintain a place of feeling good and being in a state of appreciation in order to be best lined up with our goals? It's a great question. So thank you for asking it, Florence, because I'm sure many other people have had that experience too. So listen in and let's see how this can help keep you from getting derailed when life jumps up and kind of maybe bites you a little bit. So a couple of things I would say. One is kind of a communication tool and the other is a mindset tool. Let's start with the mindset tool first. So the idea is that when something happens to us, we experience it through the filter of what we believe that means. So something, of course, being yelled at doesn't feel good at all. And we can decide that it means something that maybe it doesn't. So maybe your experience of being yelled at makes you feel small. It makes you feel less than. It makes you feel inept. It makes you feel unskilled, whatever that is. But some part of us is agreeing with the other person that we kind of are maybe need to be that it works. That somehow whatever they're saying, we kind of agree with the fact that of whatever their particular critique is. Some part of us agrees with that. So maybe look at it and go, what am I making it mean that she's yelling at me? Am I making it mean that it means I'm going to lose this deal and that scares me? Am I making it mean that I'm just not good at my job? And is that really true? So look at really what we're making it mean and evaluate that might be a bit of a leap. And that might be creating part of what's creating your worry, your fear, your doubt, or your frustration, your blame, or whatever the negativity is coming from. First, look at what are you making it mean? And then look at it from maybe this other perspective. The other thing is every single one of us is doing the very best we know how to do. So hopefully as we're all walking this journey together, we get to know a little better so we can do a little better. But in that moment, your client was doing the best she knew how to do. That's the best she's come up with so far, that whatever her frustration or her concern or her fear or doubt was, when she experiences that feeling, what she's figured out to do is to yell at people. So that's not ideal, but it also really is much more of a reflection on her than it is on you. And that's the importance of not letting it mean that other thing that it used to mean to you, and rather making sure that you're keeping that focused on the idea that this is the best she's figured out how to do. That'll do two things. One, it will remind you that it is not necessarily about you. The other is it can bring a measure of compassion and kindness to the situation in order to realize that it's her frustration, her fear that we are talking to, not the part that is making you wrong, but to rather have compassion and kindness for the fact that that's just where she's showing up today. From that perspective, we can get a little bit of distance and not have to make her wrong or make you wrong, all the while not taking on the blame that she's trying to drop at your feet. It allows for you to stay clear and focused when you're not picking up her meaning and you're not kind of putting making her wrong either. She's doing the best she knows how to do, and that detachment can help a little bit. Remind yourself also that you're doing the best that you know how to do, and that sometimes along the way when we're learning that we accidentally pick up other people's stuff and carry it around with us for a little bit. But just being clear and conscious and having this conversation will give you an alternative to maybe how you've always handled when people are upset with you before. So instead of making her wrong, instead of making you wrong, just understand you're both doing the best you figured out how to do, have some kindness and compassion, and then see the best way to respond to the situation from there. The other thing is the communication tool that I would share with you. So once you have your mindset a little bit more clear, and maybe you can remind yourself as you wake up in the morning thinking about what she did, you can remind yourself it doesn't have to mean what you think it means. And we can have a measure of compassion for her and for you. And then from that, as you step toward the conversation with her, walk into it with one clear sentence. If there's one message you want her to walk away from that conversation with, what is it? Is it, I value your business, I value your friendship? Is it, I want to make sure we find a good solution to this? Is it, I really will listen to you even if you're not yelling at me? Whatever it is, that if there was one message you wanted her to walk away with from your conversation, what is it? And that is the thing that you will hold on to and anchor yourself through the conversation that you have with her when you sit down to meet. You can begin the conversation with this little nugget. We call it the essence sentence. What is the essence of the message that you want her to receive from you? You begin the conversation with that. Anytime she gets escalated or upset, you bring it back to, I want to make sure we find a good understanding. I'm sure we can find our way to a better solution. Whatever it is that one nugget. It'll keep you grounded and focused if you get a little bit rattled from her, if she gets escalated or upset. And it'll allow for you to make sure that the message you want to communicate is the one that you're sending. It's up to her to decide whether she's going to receive it. But you can know for sure that you have, from a place of consciousness and mindfulness, communicated the message that you most wanted her to receive. And then you let it go. You surrender it, you detach from it, you delegate it, and just allow for the best to come your way. You had a pretty good miracle lately. You got that great, your buyer won the bidding war. So keep your appreciation on the stuff that's coming your way. Let go of the stuff that has resistance in it, and keep asking great questions like this one. So I know this was a long answer, but I wanted to make sure I gave you a really deep answer to the question, because it's important that you have some clear and valuable tools to manage when stuff kind of throws you off your rocker. So I hope this was valuable to you, Florence, as well as anybody else out there who is trying to figure out how to handle it when somebody else's behavior kind of derails you from your good mindset. So if you have any more questions or comments, place them below and we can continue this conversation. Thanks again for the question, Florence.